Hi, welcome. So I wrote something on the 8/8/2024, which is another 8 portal, and then forgot to share it. um, and I kind of knew there'd be a better time, maybe. I think now is that time. There is another 8/8 portal apparently because of the 17th, which will be tomorrow. However, this will be heard by you whenever it is that you've clicked into that, and then it will be the right time for you to have heard it. So timing really does not matter about this. It began with me writing to myself about like what matters to me, because manifestation is something people talk about on the 8/8 portal. I'm like, okay, well, I don't, this is where I'm going to begin. And then it sort of turned into something that I knew was going to help somebody else, because the talking went outward. So I'll just go along with it. But I tried to write like notes about my writing so I'd understand it, but I'll go slow so that at least maybe you can follow it already. Love matters to me. Pleasure does too. Conversation, exploring, and enhancing and sharing spirituality matters to me. Peoples whose presence and mind and energy feed mine, and vice versa. Appreciation for my creations matter to me, and when I show up consistently enough for me and allow a creation to come to fruition, that matters. Forming a family and soul family really matters. I feel that really happening now, in real life, not just virtually anymore. Following the guiding energy of the love and acceptance I once knew before Earth matters to me, and I am grateful to know that feeling. And if I could bring that energy to others, that would fulfill me greatly. Meeting others who bring that kind of consciousness too, that matters. So I form with them that soul family on this planet. I know it, and therefore I can extend it. I know it, and therefore I can recognize it when it occurs here. I know myself, I allow myself in this version of me to find that and to experience that within people that I meet, moments that I live. In any way it occurs, I can and do allow it. I say allow because it's already there. It's not of my creation. The feeling of ultimate home, ultimate unconditional support you to shine as bright as you are in every cell, love. It's already within me. And so all I have to do is allow it. It seems easy when said like that, but I had to release and forgive the layers that grew over that to protect myself enough in this dimension, this planet, this timeline, to survive until I reached a point where it was activated within me. And all the work that I've done before now has been digging and searching and learning what was there in me as the layers were let go, cut away, released, and buried. And when I found it, I felt it reflected in a memory of where I came from and why I came here, of before, of those who root for me from celestially far away, and those who are here with me, readying themselves as I have to be found and to cultivate what was activated and is now nurtured within each of us together here on earth. Soul family. Created, found, accepted, allowed. I know better every day how I deserve this, how we each do. But it's not for me to know for another. I tried that before. And I found that lifting someone who is dead set on denying this love only served to pull us both further from this truth. This warm sand and shooting star ice bath with a warm towel after and someone's lap to curl up into while they stroke my hair kind of love. I feel more cared for than ever before because of how I show up and how I love myself now. And I wish for that for more people. It used to frustrate me that it's not within my power to serve this on a platter to those who need it most, and those who have served it would shift our worlds completely. But in the end, it's not about the knowledge solely, or these words, but you can only hear them because you can only hear them from your current understanding of existence, your own perspective. What is between anyone, or who I was and where I am now, was knowing that I deserve it. Learning to allow myself to access what was already mine. Not with entitlement, but with surrender. Vulnerable submission to what can be. What we are scared, most of us, to believe is possible for our collective. No matter how long the process takes, though, that love, that awake, safe, encouraging, ultimate home love is there in us, waiting. The patience is ultimate because the love is unconditional and infinite. Literally infinite. Love and all it takes you to is infinite. The path is not linear. And maybe it seems easier to witness the collective as a victim of random existence than it is to own all the immensity that it is to be alive, self-accepting, a love cultivator. And I get that. If you've stayed listening until now, and that last sentence possibly challenged you, first, I do not mean it as a neg or as an invalidation of the real victimization that absolutely is a rampant factor and experience in the world's current state. And second, but I do allow it to be a challenge if it felt that way, because no matter where you are in this very personal and yet very collective journey, you are, in fact, enough. And you are as you are meant to be. And I want you to notice if another being's words are pricking up any feelings that question your worth or the way that you currently exist. I want you to know these parts of yourself. Because when you question or challenge yourself, and a voice or a feeling inside holds you back from fulfilling something your soul or intuition called for, I want you to be able to identify that part. While it has the intention of protection, it has been also a culprit in dividing us all out of fear of lack of love and acceptance from the outside world. Instead now of wanting it to go away though, or shunning it, or ignoring it, I want you to turn to it within yourself. Look at it or sense it to let it know that it is being witnessed. Even imagine a light forming from your attention that illuminates this part that speaks to you from the darkness. See that it is scared. See that it is you. And whatever form it takes, wrap your loving, accepting arms around it and cry, feel, be together. And then forgive every bit of you that is involved and just be there with it. In my experience, this voice shapeshifts. And it has taken and still takes the forms of voices of those that it knows will affect me most. Maybe it goes away completely for some, or maybe even over time. But I've found I needed eventually to befriend, to understand, and coexist with this piece of me. It may hold fears over all else, but it also has no idea just how good life can get. I am committed to showing it just how wrong it has been and reassure it I hear it, that I hear it. But regardless of what it says, I am doing this anyway. More often than not, it celebrates me afterwards. And I don't know, but maybe if I continue to live an example of what it could be like instead of what that fearful part wants, maybe someday it'll be as accepting of the love and goodness that living can be as much as I am. I hope that for it. But even the parts within me sometimes aren't for me to forcefully change. They are for me to accept and believe where they are at when they show me, and to follow only that which allows me to continue cultivating and deepening the allowance of love, soul growth, heaven on earth, while I am here. Okay. Let me know in the comments how that lands with you. Because that wasn't necessarily instructional, but I've dealt with that piece of myself for so long in many different ways. Have come to work around it, include it, understand it, etc. And I'll most likely share that periodically through reads and stuff that I share on here, because it ultimately will come up. But I think what's most important is, like, I know it's named ego in some realms, but regardless of what it is called or what, like, you know, if it's Jungian or any practice or whatever, it is within all of us, which means that it's not an individual experience and you're not alone in having one, a part that is fearful or holds you back from things. And this isn't even because you choose things out of fear. I chose things out of safety for the longest time. And that's a place that we need to be sometimes. So there's no need to rush ourselves on any part of the journey that we're on because it, like, needs to look different or more triumphant or be deemed successful under, like, whatever the fuck version of existence we're currently, you know, being forced to, like, live as. Like, this is an intensely personal experience. But what helped is when you could see or hear other people are actually dealing with it all the time. And it's not necessarily a matter of someone deals with it better than someone else, or, oh, that person got it to go away completely, and then you're comparing yourself to anyone. Like, it is, I think, something that can so easily, even a conversation around it and its actions in the fear realm can divide us, and we allow to divide us. And it takes great amounts of vulnerability to move towards, like, a communal way of speaking about these things and learning about them and sharing that with the people around you, and the world in general, because, you know, you've met humans, so but what has helped me is that love that I mentioned at the start. And it may not be everyone's experience and understanding, which is absolutely the way it's supposed to be. That's beautiful. That there are different experiences of existence. But I, at some point, encountered the support that is being sent from, for lack of a word of understanding from that realm, a family that I left because I needed to be on Earth at this point in time, and take the form that I've taken and to be here doing what it is that I'm doing right now, and in every moment. I can't speak for everyone's understanding of before or whatever it is, but it also has taught me the amount, the way, the intensity, the immensity of love that I had never experienced before that. In which I'm like, that's what I'm here to create here in one way, shape, or form. And obviously, you know, people in my daily life get varying versions of me because not all people deserve every moment of my vulnerability or deepest self. But because this is a space I've created via YouTube, this is a place I feel okay with being that level of vulnerable, funnily enough. Life's hilarious. Okay. I think that I'm going to leave it at that, but it ties into mental health, it ties into spirituality, it ties into any one person's understanding of existence, and all of that is so fascinating to me. And so it's just, yeah, I love this kind of topic. I love experiencing it, and then I love sharing experiences, especially because, I mean, sharing them for me helps me, and it helps past Megan, and it helps future Megan. If it helped people outside of Megan, that'd be deadly. That'd, I love that's a possibility as well. Because like when I say I love you because you exist, I mean it. You are here on the planet at the same time as me. You are family, right? You are 1717. That number has been showing up for me so often. You matter so ridiculously much. And I think that can be a scary thing to really know and act like in everyday life. Maybe because of resources available to actually show ourselves that. Maybe because the world around us isn't necessarily reflecting that. And so to survive and not feel like, you know, delusional or whatever, it's like we, you know, accept less and lower our value and stuff so as to like survive as it is. I think we deserve better. I think you deserve better. I think, yeah, I think we can do better by ourselves. And that starts like in our own control space, which is our own selves, and then gets created outwards. So, yeah, I love you. And see you next time I decide to record.